my name is Aoife Deane and this is the Happy Weight Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. You're going to have to excuse my leisure wear. I just really cannot be bothered putting on my dress and heels and tights, and I know I might have to do it at some point. But also, a few of my clients today are young ones, do you know what I mean? And I think they speak the language of leisure wear, so maybe I'll get away with it anyway. I hope you've had a nice week, and today I want to talk about 3 red flags in your eating that will lead to weight gain, and I'll explain why they lead to weight gain. The first one is, in at number 3, is compensatory eating. So that's where we eat a pizza and go for a walk. And I think what's crap about this is exercise is a beautiful relationship that we can have, and it's in our best interest to have a beautiful, positive relationship with exercise, because it is something ultimately we are going to need to some extent to have the health that we want and to have the weight we want. And also it's just a thing of self-love. Like, why would we not deserve the protection that exercise gives us? Why would we not deserve the endorphins, the leanness, the muscles, the mobility, the tone, the endorphins, everything else that comes with it? Why should we be excluded from that? So we have to tread very carefully with our relationship with exercise, because you might have a hangover from dieting, or I don't know, some exercise 30-day challenges or something, where exercise was exercise was homework. Exercise was coming from, I'm a fat girl who needs to get slim, so I have to do this kind of place. And it's like, we gotta moonwalk out of that immediately. Like, that relationship is not gonna end well. It's not gonna benefit us. So exercise is something that we can do in our own cool way, in our own cool time. And the mantra of coming out of eating and weight issues is no more punishment. There will be no more shoulds. There will only be how you desire to feel. So the bully, the diet industry, everything is making us do things now that create crappy feelings, whether that's undereating, overeating, over-exercising, under-exercising. And now it will always be about, how do I desire to feel? So if you desire fresh air, if you desire to be out in the countryside, if you desire to be out in nature, if you desire the feeling after coming back from a good walk, or raising your heart rate, or that smug pride feeling, like, I think that smugness comes from some inner knowing that we were given this body and it was a gift, and it would be nice to mind it. And that's why I kind of think when we're in a bad place with eating and weight, it can feel so wrong, because part of us knows we're mistreating and neglecting something that deserves a lot more. So again, with exercise, it's like, you're doing it because you get to. You're doing it because, like, if you have the health, if you have the time, like, exercise can only be seen as a luxury, in my eyes anyway, because it is. Like, again, if you can carve out half an hour for it, if you have the health to be able to walk, you don't have like any ailments or diseases that would stop you, as in, that's such a gift. So don't be equating it with punishment. And equally, that's also, of course, feeding into the narrative that pizza is bad, or whatever it is that you ate is bad. It's like, your body is aware of the energy in pizza. Like, your body is aware whether you ate 1,000 calories of pizza or whether you ate 200 calories of salad for supper. Like, it knows the difference, just like your body does know the difference between a pint of cream and a pint of water. Your body knows way better than your brain could ever guess how much nutrition, calories relative to your needs was in that meal. So, like, I suppose fear kind of tells us that food is one and done. Like, you ate the wrong thing, mistake, like immediate. Like, I used to almost think that every night at midnight there was a judge and jury in my body deciding, bad day, today was a bad day, or today was a good day. And energy balance doesn't work like that. Energy balance is a continuous system. So you could eat 1,000 calories of pizza and you might wake up not that hungry for breakfast, or you might have breakfast and weirdly, when you're usually very hungry for lunch, you're actually not that hungry for lunch, or you eat a bit less. But what I'm saying is, your body is aware if there's like 800 calories more in it. Like, that will affect how hungry and full you are. It will affect your satiety levels. And even if you're kind of thinking, well, not for me, that's the bully talking. Because if we've been in a controlling place with food for a long time, that we're just like good foods, bad foods, good day, bad day, like this is the whole problem with disordered eating. Basically what disordered eating is our mind is so loud that we didn't even hear our taste buds say, hey dude, the moment is over with these biscuits. Like, because we're on some like loop of, oh my God, I'm in a fat phase. I'm getting so fat. When will this end? What's wrong with me? And meanwhile, someone with a quieter head and a quieter mind would just be hearing their taste buds being like, yeah, you're done. Or their belly being like, that was lovely. That's a cozy, happy, lovely belly full. But if you have another one now, it will dip into the ick. So you'd want to bow out here. And again, like I say, we can't hear those physical signals if we're so up in our head with judgment and constantly thinking about weight, you know? So that's compensatory eating. Another version of compensatory eating would be like, say we've a blowout weekend where, I don't know, at a wedding or a hen or a holiday, and like it's not happy eating. We just ate everything in sight and we drank everything in sight, and now we're feeling the size of a house when we come back. And I think compensatory eating as well would be kind of like, okay, back to the grindstone on Monday morning with my porridge, my goji berries, my total yogurt, my nuts, my protein shake, my whatever else. That kind of penance breakfast of, oh, I had a blowout weekend, so now I need to have my penance breakfast and my penance lunch and my penance supper. Like, I think the other weird thing about that is you're trying to put on more jumpers to get colder. Like, if you're overfed, if you've stuffed your body, if you've gone against signals, like if there's a little part of your body or your taste buds being like, could you maybe take time out here? Could you maybe ease up on these? You know, I'm not really feeling them anymore. And we're like, no, it's a Sunday or it's a cheat day, or I'll be, you know, back to my good days on Monday or whatever. So we overrided a lot of signals to overeat and to feel uncomfortable and to feel very heavy after the weekend. So now the soundest thing we could do is bow out, take a step back, like let your belly and your digestive system catch up. Let it get through all the workload, let it get through all the energy. So it's like, no, you don't have to like slam in a ton of protein and a ton of fiber and a big giant breakfast. It's like your body's already like bursting at the seams after the weekend. So it's like, now what would be nice is like peace and trust and patience and allowing. And this is the whole thing. You don't have to like fight for your ideal weight. You just have to allow yourself become the weight you were always meant to be, rather than blocking it. Because everything we do in a weight problem and a diet mindset, it's like we just put in obstacle after roadblock after obstacle that could no way allow us be a healthy weight. Number 2 in the red flags is hearing yourself say or think, I deserve it. So that is a major red flag, because you're like, who said you didn't? And if it's Saturday evening and you deserve this, what were you eating the last 6 days? Like, whose diet were you eating? And if you weren't eating foods that you enjoy and feel well after and lucky to be eating, what were you eating? Whose diet were you eating? Because if you're at a point where, oh, I deserve to eat this, you've clearly had a lot of mismatches, like things that weren't satisfying and pleasurable and like very unique to you, and as crazy and unique and everything as and weird as you are, you know, as we all are. Basically, I was saying we all have our own weird, lovely way with food. And I deserve it just means that you were following someone else's idea, which is a really flawed system. And I can't wait for information and science to get out there that regulation is the only way to go. You need different things than me. The things that light you up are not the things that light me up. The things that make you full are not the things that make me full. So you following someone else's rules is just like the margin of error per day, per year between what your body has asked for and what your body is getting because you're following rules is getting wider. And you'll notice that by feeling crappier, basically. And this is where we have to take a pause and be like, you know, I remember having this chat with myself. So it's like, I'm overweight. So you would think that if I'm overweight, I'd be having a rare old time with food, that I've had the nicest week with food and it's all delicious and it's all whatever. And it's like, I actually haven't. Like, for all the times that I was gaining weight, it was that push pull of, trying to diet, binging, trying to diet, binge. So it's like a good 70% of my diet was not my idea. They were things that I should have, or another danger zone is I could have. I was talking about that last week with the nuts. When I was on low carb diets, it's like, oh, I can have nuts. Nuts are an allowed food. So it's really weird, the whole I'm allowed it or I deserve it, because now you're making food moral and you're kind of saying some people deserve food or something and some people don't. Or are you kind of saying that if you gain weight, you deserve to be punished? Because everyone I've come across who's gained weight, it's nearly always comfort eating. It's nearly always like our own little mini cry for help and us trying to regulate emotions or try and feel better or take care of ourselves. Like, it's a very understandable thing. But like, if we've had a season of comfort eating, for God's sake, we don't deserve punishment. Like, more punishment will mean more comfort eating. So we really have to like watch all that chat that we have. So actually, if we turn it all around, right, obviously you deserve to feel well. Obviously you deserve to have takeaway on a Friday night or drink champagne when beer gardens open for the summer, or have ice cream on a sunny day, or have hot cross buns at Easter, or whatever the thing might be. Obviously you deserve to eat those things, and you have to keep reminding yourself, if you're in a position where you've gained weight or you'd like to be lighter, it's like, okay, I have stored extra weight because there was some stuff in my diet that wasn't my thing actually. Like, I ate it because I should or I could or whatever, but it wasn't actually memorable. I didn't actually feel better. So it might have led to me eating more later. So actually now the opposite of those times where I deserve it is that now your new approach is you deserve like the joy and the adventure and the mystery of food every day. Like, what I started thinking about is like, how would I eat if I only had a week to live? Because like, if I had a week to live, I would not be eating bourbon biscuits. And there's some, like, I have a client who bourbon biscuits are her fave, but they're not my fave. You know what I mean? And I would not be eating like high protein yogurts, probably. I would not be eating protein shakes. Like, there's a lot of things I would not have time for if it was my last week on earth. And that's like, it's actually really, really helpful, right? When you start looking at your life with food in much smaller chunks, because part of disordered eating is eating in a really illogical way that you're like, the end justifies the means. So it's weird to have beans on toast without the toast, or it's weird to have curry without the rice, or it's weird to go over to someone's house and everyone is eating cake and I'm not eating the cake, or whatever. So we're doing these like illogical, like unsustainable things, and we're like, yeah, but the end justifies the means. Or on a cheat day, we're binging, we're eating loads of stuff because on Monday we're going to be good, so the end justifies the means. Turning it all around, right? And this was another big eureka moment for me, is how you live your day is how you live your life. And I was coming home from work, right? And I was opting to have a dinner I didn't really like. I was just eating it because I should eat it or whatever. But anyways, forget the justifications. The bird's eye view of what I was doing in the evening was, I was coming home and eating a dinner I did not really like. Then after that, I was snacking and binging to a level of physical discomfort. Then after that, I went to bed giving out to myself, calling myself every name under the sun, and etc. You'll know if you've been through it. But like, in terms of how you live your day is how you live your life, it's like, that's all quite curious behavior. Like, and as dieters, we know why we'd be doing those things. We know why we would have had the healthy dinner. We know why we would have then binged or whatever. We know shame and guilt. We're very familiar with all of that. So it makes sense to us. But for someone with high self-esteem And for just even thinking how I live my day is how I live my life, they're odd choices. Like, it's an odd choice to decide that you deserve guilt and shame and remorse from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's an odd choice to eat a dinner that you're not actually excited for. And it's your life and it's your body, and you're eating this dinner someone else told you to eat, even though you're a full-blown adult with your own taste buds, your own body, your own sense of what feels good to you. So actually, that looking at that slice of time of just our day, or like I said, our week, if this was my last week on earth, what feelings would I like to experience from food? And what food adventure could I go on? Like, how could we be food connoisseurs? Like, say I have a film crew following me around this week, and I'm just like a food lover, a food enthusiast. And what a food lover and a food enthusiast would not be doing is gorging, mindless eating, settling for stuff they don't like, eating stuff that they don't like because someone else eats it or they should or whatever. And they would not be making themselves physically uncomfortable, because a positive relationship with food is that you are using it to feel comfortable. And sometimes with our recovery from all of this, we do have to be strict with ourselves. And I know I repeat myself on this one, but like, you are not allowed to eat that chocolate if you're going to be a negative about it. Like, you are just put it in the bin or give it to someone else, because it's like, eat it and love it or don't eat it, but you're not allowed to waste food. You're not allowed to abuse it. You're not allowed to use it as a reason to like give out to yourself or make the evening negative. It's like, no, like, leave food out of it then. Food is to be appreciated and loved and everything else. So anyways, that's point number 2. And in at number 1, we have double dieting. So double dieting is when we're kind of like, we have our like baseline eating, and then evenings and weekends are where it goes wrong. So it's kind of like, again, this is kind of, we've prescribed our eating for ourselves. So it's the opposite of intuitive. It's the opposite of connected. It's the opposite of regulated. It's planned. It's assumed. It's rigid. It's inflexible. It's repetitive. It's boring sometimes. It mightn't even be suited to you from the get-go. So in my situation, that would have been my eggs and rice cakes for breakfast, which I still have, but I would have been like, you will get 3 rice cakes, no more, no less. Kind of, I would have been very rigid about kind of carbs or whatever. Then maybe some stupid, I don't know, like, as in, obviously I love fruit. Obviously I love nuts, but like, just the rigidity of a mid-morning snack or whatever, whether I needed it or not, whether I liked it or not, and then my chicken salad or my pret-a-manger salad that was under X amount of calories, or my Boots salad or sandwich that was under, not sandwiches actually, salads that were under X amount of calories with maybe X amount of calories of like Snack Jacks, or just all like, and the whole repetition was like, if I could just stick to that, if I could just stick to that. And it's like, what I didn't see is like the imbalance of how I was eating and how mismatched it was to my mind, my dopamine, my serotonin, my pleasure signals, my belly, my energy, my personality, my everything. That's what was causing the evenings and weekends to be like, so full of other stuff. So I figured out, right, that I was eating 2 diets. I was eating a diet for one person, which is all the healthy foods and what I should be eating. But I was also eating a second diet. I was eating pretty much the equivalent calories on binges, evenings, weekends. So I was like, okay, so I'm on 2 diets. So actually, again, weight is about your overeating. It's not about your nutrition. So I was like, if I picked one of those, like if I picked the foods I was eating in the evenings and weekends and was just honest about that and just ate them, that actually would be healthier for my body than the double dieting. Because again, I don't think people realize this, but the burden on your body is the sheer traffic of carbs and digesting and fat and salts and no break in service. And, you graze a bit more and then you plonk in a meal and then you graze some more and then you snack and then you binge. And it's just like, no organs can put up with that. Like, as in, and also the healing in your body happens in the gaps. So then there's no gaps, you know, so a lot can go wrong with like that level of pressure. And, you know, it's like we're using our engine or our digestive system doubly the amount it's designed to be used. So again, it's like, it doesn't matter. At a certain point, it doesn't matter whether our fats are coming from coconut or avocado or olive oil, or carbs are coming from brown rice, or I don't know, bulgur wheat or whatever else. Like, it's the sheer amount that's the problem. So for me, you know, I had to kind of turn it all around and be like, if a chocolate donut would mean I'm happy as a clam and like I don't need to snack anymore, and like that's me sorted for the night now, a lovely dinner and a lovely you know, donut, anything that can provide peace and time and space for your digestive tract is good. And like, of course, the other option is being like, no, you can't have chocolate donuts. What you can have is one chocolate rice cake. And then, you know, you have another chocolate rice cake, and then you have a fruit yogurt, and then you have a protein bar, and then you've whatever. And it's like, okay, now we're gone back to like the sheer volume and traffic of food. And at the end of it, maybe your pleasure score from all of those snacks that you have 1,000 times in the week, so you've complete flavor fatigue from, aren't as pleasurable as that one and done chocolate donut. So we have to think about everything backwards as comfort eaters. We have to be like, what would get the job done? Like, you know, say it's Friday night now. So history suggests I binge on Friday nights. So instead now, let's look at it backwards. Like, I will be going to bed at 10. I will be feeling lovely. I'll be feeling like a prized princess after the loveliest evening of food. And my belly will be feeling lovely. My taste buds will be like, nom, 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 nom. And my brain will be happy from all the pleasure from food. And what could get me there? And it's going to be a different mega mix and a different prescription every time you do that. And that's where you will get your confidence, because every time you look at it backwards and be like, what could get me to a pleasurable, happy, belly satisfied point where I don't even need to check what's in the presses because I'm so happy, the answer will be different. So, you know, the number one fear is, oh, if I listen to my body, I just eat junk. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's like learning to ride a bike. If you're starting off learning how to ride a bike, you might fall off it, and you might have a few more falls before you finally get it, and then you've figured out balance. And I was saying this to parents this morning, actually. The solution isn't put the child on a bike for a minute, and if the child falls off, take away the bike, because then they miss out on the fun of a bike and they miss out the learning of balance. And it's the same with food. It's like the solution to regulation is not whip the food away from yourself. The solution to regulation is to be okay with falling over a few times and fall over again and again and again and again and again until you get to a point where you realize food is not going away. And wait a second, what do I want from this experience? Not what I should do. There's no hidden camera on you. No one actually cares. This is your life. It's up to you what you do with food. It's up to you how you spend your evening or how you want to feel in an evening. So instead, what do you want to use this food for? Because it's like, this could potentially be a positive experience. So let's use this positive food for a positive experience. I think I've covered all the bases, and you might know, but I'm off social media. Oh my God, it is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I would actually compare it to getting over my binge eating, my weight issues, and giving up alcohol. Because the thing is, I wasn't binging 7 days a week and I wasn't drunk 7 days a week, but you do check Instagram every day. I had like cute content, you know, just cat videos and funny memes between my friends and stuff like that. Doesn't matter. It's just kind of like with eating. You could still be an overeater just because you're eating all organic. That's not the problem. If you are prone to comfort eating, especially if you're prone to binge eating, there may be issues there with the dopamine in your brain. There may be issues there with somewhere on the ADHD spectrum. And if that applies to you, if you're prone to binge eating, reels and short form video and, you know, being happy and then sad and then feeling injustice and then feeling educated and then feeling happy, like, that is not where you want to be. And the coolest thing is I'm way less fried. Like yesterday now, I had a full day of clients, 3 hours of total driving between going up and going down. And Trisha was like, "Are you not wrecked?" And I'm like, "Nah." But I would have been before, because my brain would have been fried from the ups and downs and the info and the noise from social media. But anyway, that's my rant, and I'm not being judgy. You know, do what you want to do, but I'm just saying there's huge benefits if you have issues with food or your body, of course, to get off social media, just deactivate it. I think it'd be kind of cool. So on that note, sign up to my newsletter. I know I'm not amazing at sending them out, but I will every so often. And we've this episode every week. So please like and subscribe. That'd be really cool. And I hope you have a lovely week. Lots of love. Mwah.